Right, Garry, Seymour. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, you.
Excellent. Yeah, very well, thanks. And
Good.
it's very nice to meet you face to face, even if that's virtually,
Yeah,
because we've been talking back and forth since almost since the site began, haven't we?
that's it. Yeah, yeah. I was probably one of the first few to join. Uh,
Where did you see Manby Fat first?
it was, believe it or not, it was the Daily Mail. Uh, I normally go on there just to have a laugh at some of the comments that people put on,
Yeah,
but spotted this Man v Fat article, and being somebody who's about 3 or 4 stone overweight, and in the obese category, um, I figured I'd jump on there and see what information it had
yeah,
me to take away and use.
sure.
So yeah, I popped on there, joined up straight away, and instantly was in a community of guys who could just understand what I was thinking,
Mm,
rather than going to Weight Watchers and being part of a group of women.
mm,
We had this community where I could just say, do you know what, I've got this problem. I'm a man. This is what I do.
mm.
Guys come back and say, yeah, I do that too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yes. That might be the first recorded instance of the Daily Mail doing something good for humanity.
you never know.
I love the Daily Mail. I have to say that.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yes, it's our favourite newspaper.
So, I mean, just give me a bit of background about you and weight. Where are you currently? And I mean, you say that you're 3 stone overweight. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't look like that, but obviously,
No, no. I must admit, I carry a lot of muscle. I've got a lot of muscle in my legs. I've got footballer's calves. I've got quite chunky thighs from doing a lot of cycling when I was younger. And up until the age of about 25, I was about 9 and 3/4 stone at my most.
mm,
Living down in Looe in Cornwall, in a village that is literally like that. Uh, so you get up in the morning, you walk down the hill to work, and then you go back up, and then you walk down, and then you walk down to town. And so I've never had a chance to put any weight on. But
yeah,
obviously, moving to Andover, I got a job in IT eventually, being fed by my mother-in-law, who seemed to think that I was wasting away. So she'd give me lots of food, and I'd lap it all up
mm,
because I like my food.
mm,
And eventually it just piled on and piled on, and it came to a head last year, something like that. I was diagnosed with fatty liver.
mm,
After having a few years of pains around the liver area,
mm,
they kind of did an ultrasound scan and said, "Yeah, you've got a fatty liver." So I kind of thought, well, I need to do something about this. I joined a gym, and for 8 months, I was going 3 or 4 times a week. I was cutting down my food. I was measuring portions. I was eating corn instead of meat. Um, and I did pretty well. But then life kind of gets busy and takes over. Our eldest was going to secondary school, so we were going around doing secondary school. So I skipping out on a couple of days gym. Um, and snacking suddenly reappeared, eating all the wrong foods, the pizzas, the burgers,
mm,
the I'm more of a savoury guy, so things like pasties and crisps
yeah,
are my Achilles heel.
yeah,
And it just piled back on again. But with this fatty liver,
mm,
um, I feel I have to do something.
yeah,
As you may know from our conversations, I struggle with food addiction,
mm,
and not being able to say no.
mm,
You know, we have people around for dinner, and we bake, we cook,
mm,
we make all these lovely meals.
mm,
And then I sit down and I have the full plate of lasagna, and then the cake, and then the cheesecake, and then the drinks. And
mm,
um, even with good intentions, I'll go to work, I'll take a small sandwich with just some ham in,
mm.
and then suddenly I'm hungry and I'm going down to the canteen and I'm getting baguettes, I'm getting crisps, I'm getting, or I'll pop to Tesco and suddenly I've got a big bag of Doritos and
Mm.
other crisps are available. And yeah, I'm stuff in my face again
But
and
is
feeling guilty.
the two things just to pick up on that. One is, why does that happen? What's going on in your head when you're doing that? Is it like a destructive thing? Is it you want to annihilate yourself with food sort of thing, or?
I wouldn't say it's that. I'd say it's a nagging urge that I cannot stop. I cannot suppress this urge to go there. I'll sit there for a while and say, no, you've got to be good. And then suddenly I get this urge and I can't stop it. It's like it's just rolling over me. I go, right, that's it. I've got to go down Tesco's. So yeah, it's more of an urge than I'm going to do this and I know it's wrong.
Yeah. Have you always sort of experienced that, or is that relatively recent?
I've always been quite relatively free with my meals, food. There've been times when I've had 4-5 meals a day, and 2 of those have been one after another because I just fancied something. So yeah, I suppose I've always been like that. But back in the day of living in Lou and when I was younger, I had the metabolism. I was walking daily. So yeah, I think the fact that I'm now not doing that contributes to the fact that I could maybe get away with it if I was doing lots of exercise or working in a job that was very physical.
Sure. Is it? Have you found anything during the time when you've experienced this sort of urge to overeat almost? Is there anything that derails that, or stops you or gets you back on the right path?
I can't say I've ever really tried. What I suppose one thing I'm very interested in is music. So diverting my brain.
I can see the guitar.
Yes, there it is. I've got a bunch of synthesizers to my right here as well. Yeah, I tend to jump into music, or I might divert my brain by doing something else, going somewhere, or taking the kids out, or something that will distract me.
Yeah, of course.
Thoughts. If I'm busy, if I've been given a list of chores to do all day and I'm busy, doing DIY, hoovering, cleaning, then I tend to not go for it.
Yeah.
But
so it's almost like a boredom eating pattern, really.
It can be, yeah. I think it potentially is.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that I'm bored at work or anything.
No.
There's moments when your brain can take over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as we were discussing before, that the brain is so wrong that we don't get a course at school to teach us how to use our brains effectively. And I think we all need that. But the other thing that I wanted to just go back to briefly is the fatty liver disease, and it's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, how can you just talk us through a little bit about what it felt like, so that if anyone else is experiencing those sorts of symptoms, they can potentially get an early warning on that?
Sure. I mean, for me, it was like it was just an ache, constant ache in the liver area. It's kind of
yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people who have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease don't get any symptoms. They don't get any pain because there's no actual pain receptors in your liver itself. What it is the membrane around your liver has pain receptors. So when the liver swells and it presses against your rib cage, then you'll feel this aching, almost like there's something in there. There's a lump in there. And again, as you know, with my health anxiety that I suffered with a few years ago, I would lay on the floor, I would poke my belly, I'd feel this lump, and I'd breathe in and out, and I could feel it going past my fingers, and I'd really be concerned about it. And I'd be up until 3 or 4 in the morning with worrying that it was something worse. So I took myself to the doctors, and several times they said, "Oh, I can't feel anything. You just." One doctor even said I was wasting his time. So I got a bit disappointed with that. But one of them finally decided to refer me to an ultrasound.
Yeah.
And they checked all of the internal organs, the pancreas, the liver, the kidneys.
Yeah.
and they discovered that the liver was fatty.
I mean, was that a mixed result, really, in some ways? Because part of you wants to go, "Ha, fuck you! I told you there's something wrong with
Yeah.
me," and the other part of you is going, "Oh shit, what's that all about?"
Yeah, that's it. Well, it was nice to know that there was something that wasn't worse than fatty liver.
Yeah.
I had a friend who died of liver disease caused by a mole. She had a cancerous mole, and it took a. She was diagnosed as terminal in April and died in the October. So that, on top of that, that kind of set my mind going as well. If it's liver, could it be something as serious as that?
Connected elsewhere, yeah.
So I was relieved in a way that they said, "Oh, it's fatty liver." That's something that can be controlled and possibly even reversed with dieting and losing weight and exercise.
And from your experience of it, what causes it, and is it a function of weight?
Yes, it's normally seen in people who are obese. What causes it? Mine is the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So the doctor basically said to me, "Stay away from sausage." So yeah, it's to do with the triglycerides.
Okay, yeah.
My triglyceride reading when I had just before I had the tests, it's supposed to be 1. That's a good reading when it comes back is 1. Mine was 9. So with the high triglyceride reading and the fatty liver, it all came together.
Yeah.
So triglycerides are generally found in processed meats.
Yeah, sure.
Like sausage, like ham, like you eat your pasties and things like that. They have a triglyceride, high triglycerides, and it'll affect your liver. All sit on your liver.
Yeah.
And there you go. You've got a fatty liver.
And to reverse it, it's that sort of, it's the deposits of fat around the internal organs, isn't it? Which is one of those.
I don't think it's just around the liver. I believe it becomes part of the liver as well.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that because I haven't delved too deeply into it. But I don't think it's just around the liver. I think it's within the liver. Okay,
sure. So, I mean, take us through what you're doing now. I mean, you've lost some weight already, I know.
Yes.
So what have you lost at this point?
Well, I think I said to you I'd lost about 5 pounds, and I've managed to maintain that. But I think my issue is throughout the week I can be very good. And then the weekend comes, and for example, this weekend we're going away for a birthday celebration. So there will be meals at hotels, and so I will try and be good and just have steak and vegetables. But I just try and cut out my Achilles heel of savouries, crisps, mainly crisps. I can eat one of those massive bags of Doritos in one sitting.
Yeah.
And I think nothing of it. That's probably over 1,000 calories.
And then some, I think.
And some, yeah. So, yeah, it's just I need to retrain my brain to try and think about going back to measuring the rice, going back to eating the corn instead of the meats, going for turkey, going for chicken.
But let me put this to you. It doesn't sound as if that's something that you necessarily want to do. It sounds like that's something that you see as, this is what I have to do to get to the other side of this situation.
I think that's the problem. I need to crack this mental barrier. I have this mental barrier of not being able to stop myself.
Yeah.
And I do think it's an addiction. It's an addiction to sugar and salts and fats. So yeah, it's tough to crack. I think if I can crack the mental side of things, I'll be able to then delve into the physical side of doing the exercise of cutting down the foods and not worrying about what other people are eating and what I'm missing out on.
It's like, you know, one of the things that I think is a very important question for people to ask themselves if they're dieting is, do you enjoy your diet? You know, forget diet as a short-term change. You know, I mean diet as in your regular eating patterns.
That's a lifestyle change, yeah.
Yeah, do you actually enjoy it? Because if you don't, then it's before you even begin, it's impossible to continue, because you're trying to force yourself to do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I'm a big fan of this, you know, the rules diet, where essentially you make a small number of your own rules, is because it's something that you own, and also because it's small, it feels achievable, and you can build on that as time goes by.
Yeah.
So, for example, Paul Dolman-Darrall did it, that's how I lost weight, and it was literally just writing down 5 things. These are my rules. These are the things that I'm not going to break, and adhering to those. And over time, you know, sometimes I screwed up and went a little bit over, but I found that much easier to follow than a plan that someone else had created and imposed on me.
Yeah.
Because
I must admit, I found that Paul's jaffa cake rule.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought that's a bit extreme. That's a bit waste of money.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that he limited himself to 3, and if he only could buy a pack of one of the massive Christmas packs, took 3 out and threw the rest away.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of wasting money. So that's where the restraint comes in.
Yeah.
I'll buy them if I'm going to waste that money.
But I suppose I mean, the other side of that rule that he had was that he had to go and walk to the shop and get it. So even if he was walking to the shop to get a miniature pack of jaffa cakes, he was expending some energy. It required him to think a little bit before he did it. And 9 times out of 10, he probably thought, you know what, I don't actually want them that much anyway. But, you know, obviously you've got children in the house, and yes, this is what I blame my boys for everything. But, you know, there's often crisps and sweets and things in from them, especially post-Halloween.
I just don't even want to talk about that. Get loads of them.
Yeah. So do you feel fairly confident? Do you feel fairly positive about, you know, your progress and where you're going?
Strangely, I feel more positive after our conversation, and the fact that I've got a support network now.
Yeah.
Even if it is just online.
Yeah.
I've got somebody there who is going to kick my butt if I don't achieve it.
Virtually.
Yeah, virtually, but through the webcam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that I do feel more positive with the fact that I have this community and people who can support me, and people who can directly support me, like yourself and like Paul, the CBT guy.
Yeah.
So I think I may be able to achieve a little more.
Yeah, fantastic.
And as long as I can report in every so often and say, you know, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or you know, the guys check up and say, how are you getting on? You're not succumbing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I need. I need almost like a sergeant major.
Yeah.
To bawl me out every so often and say, stop being a pussy.
Yeah, it's that accountability, isn't it? It's having that regular accountability.
Yeah.
And even if, as you say, even if it's just a virtual weigh-in on a Friday that we do, that it's still somewhere where people are asking, oh, you know, didn't see you at the weigh-in on Friday, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's really good to speak to you, Gary, and this is an ongoing story. So have a nice weekend. Don't worry too much if you eat a piece of cake.
I'll try not to.
Just don't eat all 3 tiers.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, no worries. Take care, Gary. Speak soon.
See ya.